This episode is brought to you by BioGaia, a probiotic brand trusted by families like yours. From newborn drops to daily support for all ages, BioGaia is one of the world's most researched probiotics, available at larger boot stores.
Welcome back to the Project Baby podcast. Today I'm joined by Will, a very good friend of mine, but also a dad and content creator. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Really good.
So we're going to talk all things fatherhood.
Yeah.
Nate is nearly one.
Yeah. On Sunday.
On Sunday.
It's been a wild ride, right? That first 12 months, things change so much. Like an unbelievable amount. And I know, we've had a conversation in the past about those milestones and things. But I think for me, the way it changes so rapidly and the way that me as a control freak, I'm so out of control of that is just mental.
Yeah.
Utterly mental, it really is. And I think I'm at a stage now where I love this stage, I absolutely love it. But I struggled. I think the newborn stage was really hard.
Yeah.
I think it was a really, really difficult space to navigate, particularly from, obviously I don't know it from a mum's point of view. As an onlooker, you can see what Jen was going through and all those things, but from a dad's point of view, it was hard.
It was hard. What do you think the hardest part was?
I think that there's lots to it that I think is quite challenging. I think you are thrown very fast into a very steep learning curve.
Sink or swim.
Yeah,
you're raising a little.
Yeah, and the stakes are high. Like we were talking about this at breakfast this morning, right? The stakes are high.
high.
You're raising a human. The stakes are really high.
You are responsible.
Yeah, and actually there is no manual. There is no manual, and I found the birth, people will laugh at this, they're listening, but I found the birth traumatic. I did find it traumatic. And I think, actually, when I've spoken to lots of mums about this, and dads, and people, when you get over that initial stage of, oh, Will found the birth traumatic, okay, what about Jen? Actually, when you think about it, from whoever the birth partner is, the onlooker's point of view, it's not an easy thing to witness. It's a beautiful moment, but it's not an easy thing to witness. And I put something up online because, there's that classic dad photo or that video where you're kind of walking out the hospital and you've got the which I've wanted, right? I pictured in my head, that's what I wanted, And I put something online which was, when you've waited 9 months for this moment, but it's not like you thought it would be.
Yeah.
And I had thousands of dads message. It reached over 1 million people on socials, and I had thousands of dads in my DMs thank you for sharing that, because I felt exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I think you do. I think you feel like, oh wow, I'm going to have this absolute instant connection. But I didn't. I didn't have that overwhelming sense of, oh my God, I just want to hug him. I just didn't have that. And I remember at the time, the midwife saying, do you want to give him a hug? And I was like, can I just have a minute? I just needed that minute.
Yeah.
To check the Jen was okay. It was all based around, actually, I want to check she's all right, because I've just seen her go through this. And ultimately, the brutal side of things for me was, I don't know this human, but I love and know this human.
Yeah. And
the actual birth for me, I thought was quite challenging. Quite a challenging space, and actually something that I'm like...
Do you think there could have been anything that could have helped you prepare for that more? Do you feel like if people were more honest and open, and because people in the baby industry don't want to scaremonger.
No, of course.
They don't want to kind of do that, but equally it then can pull you into a bit of a false security.
Sense of security, yeah, absolutely. I did antenatal classes with Jen, and I did mantenatal that I know you have having on the podcast, but for me, I don't think you can ever prepare yourself. I don't think there is ever enough prep, because whatever you watch or whatever you read or whatever you see or you view online or on social media of that whole experience, it's never you. It's never your loved one, it's never you in that situation. Yeah,
it's just relative to...
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is. I just think the whole thing is crazy. But now you have this beautiful little human. Yeah, absolutely. It's worth it. It is worth the whole thing. But I think even that at those initial stages, from a dad's point of view, I was back to work after 2 weeks, which is really fast. It's quick, but that's not unusual. That isn't unusual. There's so many people that do, and I'm saying dads, obviously there's, other family households, other dynamics where the other parent goes back to work. But from our point of view, and certainly from our situation, I went back to work after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
how did you find leaving Jen and baby at home and going to work.
Yeah, I think there's this thing where I think people think that you walk out the door and that's it, you leave it behind. And don't get me wrong, some days I'm like, bye. Like, because, when you feel like that, you then feel guilty. Like, I felt incredibly guilty. I remember sitting in the car before I was driving to work one day thinking, okay, I'm really glad to be at the house, but I feel incredibly guilty. I just do, because you know that she's got a tough day ahead, like you do. And I don't think for a lot of people there is that element of, okay, but I can understand how Jen would resent that. Like, I can think, he's going out to work, he's getting the hot cup of tea, he's getting the hot cup of coffee. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. And I can understand the resentment there, because that's real. Right?
Yeah, and I think I've definitely felt it from that woman's point of view. It's like, you go to work, you do get that hot cup of tea, you eat your lunch hot. Yeah. Like, and you've got other adult conversation and I think, that is super tough. But I think equally, like you say, leaving as a dad.
Yeah. I think as well, like for me, I felt
guilt-free.
No, but I felt very lucky because I'm around people, you know, I work in the baby industry, I'm around people that were asking me those questions about about Nate and how he was and all those things. I chatted, and I did this on camera, I was chatting to my own dad about his experience when he went back to work very quickly after having me and my sister. And he worked on a building site, right? So it's a very different environment to what I'm working in. And he said, I just went to work and no one cared. Like, no one was fussed about my baby and what I wanted to talk about. Like, I wanted to say, these are the pictures and these are the things. They weren't fussed. Like, they just weren't fussed. And I appreciate that was, over 30 years ago. But I do think there are still some environments like that actually people will go to work and you leave your world, and your world is baby and everything new and newborn and all that stuff. And you walk into a space where nobody's really, quite rightly, way they don't want to hear about the baby
they're like,
stories.
we're here to work.
We're here to work, that's the environment. And I can understand how that would then be really challenging. Like, I do get that. And then when you come home from a really long day at work, I was second best. Yeah. And it's second best, and I have this conversation with Simon, my really good friend, about being second best to not just Jen, but the TV programme that she needs to watch that day.
Yeah. Because she needs to switch off.
Yeah, and I don't dispute that, but that being second best and being thrown into that space of second best isn't easy. No. It's not easy, and it's not easy for all men to admit that and say, I'm struggling with being second best. Yeah. And you are. Like, you are, because actually your whole dynamic has changed. Changed. And me and Jen used to do like go out for dinner and do this, and that just doesn't happen as much, They just can't. No. Just can't. So
it has to
I think the first bit is challenging in that, going back to work, and that navigating that isn't easy at all. So
you're free nearly 12 months.
Yeah.
What other milestones in that have you found tricky? Do you do like the weaning side of it?
Or was this whole really podcast messy? Is going to be up. This was so hard. The weaning, it's not the messiness for me. Actually, me and Jen are very different on this one. It's not the messiness. It's I want it to be perfect now. Like, I'd quite like him to be eating now. I'd quite like him to be perfect at eating now. And it's learning a whole new skill, right? Yeah. It's a completely new thing for them. So actually, him throwing things up the wall and throwing them on the floor and things like that doesn't really bother me. Like, that isn't quite in work I'm not, but I'm quite a messy person. Like, Jen will tell you, I'm quite a messy person. So actually, it doesn't bother me. But actually, what are we doing right? Like, are we doing this right? Are we not? Are we going to? And I think there's a thing out there. Like, I said this to you, didn't I? I remember saying it to you so clearly at the time about pouches. Yeah. It was all in the news. Like, do we do pouches? Do we not? Can I do this? Can I not? And I think you consume lots of stuff on social media. So we did. We were those parents that started with the spinach frittata and the, steamed broccoli and all those things. And while some of it he loved, some of it he didn't. And there is nothing more soul destroying than when you've cooked for an hour and a half and he just chucks it on the floor because he doesn't want it. So actually, I do think for us there was a balance of, okay, on a Sunday we're just going to choose to enjoy this cooking as a family, and if he throws it on the floor, that's fine. But sometimes, actually, no, we are just going to have a pouch because it's really easy for us. He's getting some food and he enjoys it. So winning stage, I think it wasn't certainly the trickiest, but yeah, it was a difficult milestone.
Trickier than the sleep? No sleep?
Sleep. I can't really comment too much on the sleep because actually, I will be honest, a lot of it was Jen. Because when you're at work all day, we chose to sleep train Nate in the sense that we wanted a routine. And I know that's not for everybody. We have friends where baby just naps when baby's tired, but actually myself and Jen are quite routine people. So what was really important to us was that actually he was going to have that routine if we could. So I remember Jen texting me like, I'm still sat by the crib, because she was trying to join his half-an-hour sleep cycles. And at 4 months old, we were trying to get him into some sort of routine. And I remember bringing friends and saying, he slept, 4 hours. We've practiced, like we've got there, 4 hours, blah, blah. And you can just tell that they're like, wait till 2 days time. And then in 2 days time, I'm like, okay. That it's changed. So the sleep for me, a lot of it was Jen. And that did cause a little bit of tension, because what that meant was I was trying to do stuff, because he was at work, I was at work all week, and then at the weekend when we'd have time together, I'd do things like book a nice breakfast or a lunch, or I'd book a day out, thinking that I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do this really nice thing, right, for our family. And I'd book it right in the middle of his nap. And Jen and I had always agreed that we weren't going to be that family that we can't do that because of a nap. We can't do that because of a nap, right? But there is a reality that children do need sleep, and that your whole day will be wrecked if you don't have some sort of structure to what that baby needs. So I would be booking the breakfast or booking the lunch. And I could tell for a few weeks, Jen was like kind of rolling with it, and I was noticing the fallout, right? Not between me and Jen, but with him. Like, we'd sit at breakfast, and actually he'd be falling asleep or be tired, and she was kind of rolling with it. And it got to the point where Jen was like, Will, like, quite rightly, why are you booking it for his nap? Like, I'd book him a haircut, because it's just me, isn't it? But right in the middle of his nap, and she'd be like, that's in the middle of his nap, Will. And I'd be thinking, why are we having this conversation? Why is there that kind of tension between us? Because all I'm trying to do is something really nice. But actually, what transpired was, it was causing us a problem, right? And after a lot of conversation back and forth about this, Jen, it kind of turned out that Jen did actually know him better than me. But that's quite hard to admit. That's quite a hard thing to say out loud. Like, Jen, you know him better than I do. But when he's your son, you are a little bit like, wow, like, I'm actually saying this out loud. Like, you know him better than me. And actually, I had to physically make an effort to learn his routine, because it was changing so much, right? Sleep routine, feed routine, things like that. It was just changing and changing and changing and changing. So all those nice things that I was kind of trying to put in place actually sometimes were stumbling blocks, and we would have just had a nicer day if we had just done something. And Jen was brilliant. Like, she was really good at kind of saying, no, it's cool, we'll roll with it. But it was me, it was unfolding in front of my eyes. I was like, okay, this is a bad idea. And trying to navigate that, I think, was quite challenging.
Tough, yeah. And is there something that you and Nate love to do together?
So Jen, particularly over the summer, sometimes works on a Saturday. And actually just going out and going to the soft play, or going out for a bit of breakfast or anything like that, at this age now, is magical. Like, I absolutely love it. He has his swimming lesson on Sunday, which I love. That's something that me and him do together every week. That routine is great for us. But actually, just having that out and about, I think out and about for me, because I find it easier. I find it easier to be out of the house with him, because we're doing things, we're doing activities, we're doing the soft play, the going to the farm, or whatever it might be. And whilst he's not going to remember that, it's the memories that I'm making with him. Yeah. And that's what I love. Like, I think that is super important.
Let's talk first birthday parties.
I think this is, right, so we had this discussion earlier. I think everyone's got to do what's right for them, right?
Absolutely.
And
you made a good point about this.
Yeah, for me, it's more for me and Jen than it is for him.
Yeah. And I think lots of people listening to this will absolutely go, I've made it through a year of parenting.
That's
my
where
first ever year of parenting. I've made it.
Yeah, we've made it. And I think as well, throughout those first 12 months, you build quite a lot of friendships with new people in your life, and that might be the person that you've chatted to on the online group that you've met, or it might be someone that you met in hospital, or it might be someone that you met at the swimming class or baby group or whatever. You do build those connections, because the one thing that there might be more, but the common thing that you've both got is a child of a similar age, right? So I think it's a celebration. Like, I think it is. I think it's really, really nice, bringing all your family and friends together. But I think you've got to do what's right for you, right? Like, me and Jen enjoy the big, over-the-top, extravagant parties. And I do think there's a lot on social media which says, don't do it, you don't have to do it, blah, blah, blah. But if you want to,
Yeah.
I
if you
think
want
go
to,
for it.
go for it.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to, that's just as cool.
100%. Like, you know, there's a whole spectrum of parties that Nate's been to recently because he's turning one and all of his friends are, and they're all of different levels. But he has a great time at all of them. You know, sometimes they're small, intimate parties at home. Sometimes they're big parties, you know, at venues. I think it really depends what you enjoy, what makes you happy.
Yeah.
I think for me, the one thing I don't like doing, and Jen says so much, is we don't want to make the cake and we don't want to do the balloon arch. But I know for you, making the cake is a thing, right?
Well, it was until I learnt that more time with my child was better.
yeah.
But that's as they got bigger.
Yeah, I think that's as they get older.
But it was definitely a thing for me. I wanted to make that, especially the first cakes.
You wanted to make the cake?
Yeah.
My kitchen would end up like a bomb hit it.
My kitchen
did. And then
did.
we'd end up in divorce, me and Jen.
Yeah.
But I do think there is that, I think for me it's all about the kind of memories. And I actually enjoy a party more if we just turn up and it's done and we can enjoy it. You know, because I know for work, if I was trying to do everything, I'd spend the week leading up to it burnt out. Yeah. And I know parents that have. I know parents that have got to the party and made themselves ill because they've put so much into it. I don't think that's healthy.
No. So what advice are you going to give parents, especially dads that are listening to this, that are new parents?
For the first year,
For the first year. Because it's hard. There's so much to contend with in that first year. So much learning.
So much learning. I think for me personally, if you can, it's communication.
Yeah.
Do communicate with your other half.
I think that goes through all of the years.
Yeah.
Because I think the communication is like the core of your relationship. And if you can't communicate different things, and you know, there's going to be things that you agree with that Jen doesn't agree with, and Jen doesn't want to do that, and you do, and things like that. And you know, you'll argue who the stocking's from for Christmas. Is it from Father Christmas? Is it from you? And
and there's going to be things that you're not on the same page on, right? There just are, and things that you'd never thought of before that you would be on the same page or you wouldn't, right? Communication started for us right at the start, where I did the online antenatal course, which was really valuable because it brought up things that I'd never have asked. So I guess for me, advice from a dad's point of view pre-birth and that preparation, and I'll come on to the other bit in a minute, but the preparation for me is do all the courses, do all the learning, to what level you want to, right? So I wanted to soak it all up and learn it all because that's just the kind of person I am. And so I found it very useful, and it brought up things like I then went through Jen's birth, we call it birth preference now, don't they, rather than plan, but we went through that. And because I'd done the online course, we took the time to just sit down and do that birth preference and birth plan. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, birth preference, it never actually goes to plan, which I get. But if there wasn't that birth preference and plan there, Jen and I would not have had that conversation because we're just too busy. Yeah. So we would no way have sat down at the breakfast bar with a cup of tea and spoken about her preferences, and what that allowed us to do is communicate, and I knew what she really wanted.
So you could be her voice.
So I could be her voice, and I there was one question that always sticks in my head, and I say this to the dads all the time, was on one of those courses they said, ask your partner, if something is to happen to the baby, where do you want me? And my immediate response was, well, I'll be with Jen. Baby can stay and go and get looked after and be with Jen. When I had that conversation with Jen was like, absolutely not, you go with the baby. I'm fine, you go with the baby. And if we hadn't had that conversation, I'd have done the thing that she wouldn't have wanted me to do, just because that would have been my natural instinct, right? So I think communication is really, really key. I think advice for when baby's here is still the same. Communicate. If you can. And there are some times you think, I just need a minute to myself, I get that. But if you can communicate, I do think that helps. But we were talking earlier about how hard that is, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it just ships in the night.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
Yeah. That is, I think it gets to the point where you think we're so different from where we were a year ago, or even 2 years ago. And it's difficult to visualise going forward, and how actually it changes.
Changes the dynamic, doesn't it?
It's bad. It just changes.
Yeah,
but that means your communication needs to change.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know there are a lot of people, and I think fair play to you, that can go away and they're like, oh, it was like pre-children, but I just don't, right now, that's not going to be me and Jen, because we'd be constantly checking the phone, or like, you know, has he slept, or is he not, like, we're just in that stage now, navigating him 2 days a week at nursery, so yeah, I don't think we could do that.
And let's talk about the guilt of sending your child to nursery, because I'll never forget this voice note. This voice note came through.
I did know. I was like, the dad guilt is real. Like, and the dad guilt
was bad, right?
Yeah, like I felt really, really guilty.
But did Nate like it?
Yeah, Nate really enjoyed it, and actually, this is really interesting. So the reason that myself and Jen, a huge part of the reason that myself and Jen decided to go down the nursery route with Nate is because we both hated school. Like, we loathed it, we hated it, right? 2 reasons, I'll come on to the other one in a minute. But I remember vividly crying every day in reception. Like, I used to be the child that was sat at the teacher was reading the story or doing all the activities, and I was sat like a snotty wreck on the floor. Like, I just was, right? Then at the party, I was the child that my mum had to stay. Jen was the same. And I feel like Jen didn't go to nursery either, but I didn't go to nursery, and Jen and I both said we didn't go to nursery and we hated school. Like, we hated it. And I think because of that, we decided, actually, no, we don't want Nate to hate school. We don't want him to hate that environment. So therefore, we've chosen to send him to nursery like 2 days a week. And I think the guilt still is there, like it comes with that, because I kind of feel like, oh, am I sending him to nursery because I hated it, you know? And then when I was chatting to my mum about it, my mum said, if I'd had all the things that you have now, so obviously on the app we can see he's eaten his toast, he's played with the sand, he's done all this. My mum said, I think I would have stuck at it more. Like, I think I would, but the reason she tried nursery with me, but she tried it at a stage where I could communicate, and one day I said to Mum, oh, hopefully today it'll be closed and I won't have to go. And Mum was like, that's it. You're not going anymore. I feel too guilty, you're not going anymore. So Mum had that parent guilt, but what she didn't have was being able to see how I was genuinely throughout the day. Yeah. And because we can see that with Nate, I think that helps. But the guilt is there. Like the night before we were sending him, packing up his little bag, and we were saying he loves being at home with us so much. You're like, why am I changing this?
But he also doesn't know any different.
No, absolutely.
And, you know, that guilt will never change. Like, Reg the other day was bawling his eyes out. He's 3. Bawling his eyes out, he didn't want to go to his nursery. Now, Reggie goes to a nursery and a preschool, and he wants to go to the preschool. And he was going to nursery this particular day, and he was bawling his eyes. And honestly, I felt the same as you. I was like, maybe, a bit like your mum, I was a bit like, maybe I should just put him just at the preschool now, and maybe I shouldn't make him go there.
Yeah.
It is.
It's real.
Pulls on your heartstrings.
It really pulls on your heartstrings. And I voice noted you because I knew that you'd got your kids in nursery, so you could get it, right? Yeah. And actually, right from the start, even before Jen and I were talking about children, both of our sets of parents have said, when you have children, we're not doing childcare. That is just one thing that has always been very clear. And I don't blame them, actually. Like, you know, my mum and dad want to enjoy their retirement. Like, I do get that. They've done the child thing. They've done the bringing children up thing. Yeah. And so we didn't really ever have that option, which probably made it slightly easier for us, because actually, if they'd have offered, of course we'd have said, he's going to prefer being with his nan or his granddad than he is going to be at nursery, right?
You say that though, but they love socialising.
I think the socialising element is really, really important for us. Like he is a little one that loves people, so we were confident. I can imagine if you've got a child that isn't as confident with people, that would be a harder decision, but we knew that he would thrive off, you know, seeing other children and being with other babies and being with other kids. And I think as well, it's important for Jen. I really think it's important for Jen to have that time. She's going to work on a Monday and Friday, don't get me wrong, but she then gets into my space of adult conversation, hot cup of tea, hot lunch, like what it is. So that puts her into that space of Jen rather than mum. Yeah. And I do think that's important. However, my dynamic has now changed because I've just been used to, well, Nate's at home with Jen. And now on 2 days of the week, I'm like, okay, hold up. Nate's not at home with Jen, so there's something else to navigate. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it is. I think the parent guilt is real.
Yeah, definitely.
As a parent, you want to do everything you can to help support your little one and their tummy. BioGaia Protectus Baby Drops are a probiotic supplement that's suitable from birth. Just 5 drops a day on a spoon, simple, gentle and easy to use. BioGaia is one of the world's most researched probiotics, and it's not just for babies. There are options for children and adults too, all designed to support the natural balance of gut bacteria. So whether you have a new baby, toddler, or looking for gut support as an adult, BioGaia is with you every step of the way. You'll find the full range at Boots, in larger stores and online.
So obviously we've spoken about all the hard bits, and there's lots of those. But there has been so many positives and so many wins.
Yeah,
right?
so many
Let's
positives.
talk about those.
Yeah, so many positives, so many wins. I think first, we're at the first steps at the moment. Loving first
Like
steps.
a little jump man.
Yeah, he's just kind of walking around and all that kind of things. And I think there's so many firsts in that year. It's all about embracing them. So if that means like getting the little milestone card out and saying, oh, it's the first time I slept through the night, or first time he did his first swimming lesson, or first time, I think the firsts are something that I've loved celebrating. And actually, I think social media and my Instagram has really helped with that, because it makes you, I'm going to do a reel on that, I'm going to celebrate that. And I love that. Like, I think that's really good. So I think documenting all those positives is really, really, really important. Like the first dad, or the laugh. I remember you saying to me, record that laugh and put it in a Build-A-Bear.
Yeah,
and that's what we're going to go and do this weekend, because, you know, the Build-A-Bear
because the laugh
thing
changes so
does
much. And their voices change so much.
Yeah, you said that to me.
So
I was
it's
like,
like,
is it?
Yeah, and capturing that and putting it somewhere that you can just go back and play it over and over again, just in years and years to come.
Yeah.
Like, we all have our phones, but actually having something is just really quite special.
Yeah, I think so. And I think whilst I've spoken about, you know, the challenges of being a couple, I think becoming parents does bring you into a whole new level of close, right? Like a whole new level of close. And I didn't think I could love Jen anymore, but now I'm like, whoa, I've got so much more love and respect just because of what you see.
Yeah.
There's just, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't think you can describe it, but suddenly something clicks and you're like, whoa, I didn't think there's any more love to give. And suddenly there is. Like, it's crazy. And I think when you get that click moment of the love for Nate, you're kind of then into this space of, I'd do anything for this human. Like, I would do anything for him at all. And when that comes, and I think that comes at lots of different stages for people. Mine was slightly later. When it comes, I'm like, oh, this feels good. Like, it does feel really good. And the little cuddles and the little babbling and bath time and all those things, I think are good. And we're taking him to Disney this year, which is a topic that I put on my social media, and lots of people are like, wow, that seems quite early to be taking him to Disney. But I'm kind of like, actually, he's free before he's 2 to go to Disney. It's not costing us a crazy amount of money, but it's those kind of things for me that are really special, because it's for me and Jen and him. Of course, he'll love it in the moment. Will he remember it? No. But actually, those little things as a family, I just love. Yeah. I love those experiences. Chessington for the day. You know, he's under 12 months. It's kind of crazy, but at the same time, I think just do it.
Yeah.
I think just do it. Just take the memories. Take the memories. And when you achieve something as a parent, it's kind of the best feeling, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like when the weaning, for example, hits, you're like, got it. Cracked it. Yeah.
Or
and there are some things that
crack.
there are some things that you do just crack, right?
Yeah.
It's like, crack this. The products, though, I think the products are a whole new space, right? With baby products. And you and I have spoken about this lots, because that's your thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm always on the phone to you, like, what do you think of this product? What should we do with that product? So I think the products for the first 12 months, I'm a gadgety person, so I'll take them all.
Go on,
so I've loved getting the products.
Tell me your best products you've got.
Best products.
Let's hear it. From a dad's point of view,
it's going to be gadgety.
It's going to be a gadgety.
It is going to be gadgety. Something that's not product, I suppose it is product, but it's not necessarily, well, I'll come on to that in a minute, but the apps that you can have now as a couple for Nate, I just love. Like, I would say anybody that's looking for something gadgety dad-wise is so good, because actually when I was talking earlier about, I don't really know his routine, I can look on the app. Like, I'm like, okay, he sleeps at this time, he does this at this time, and that sounds crazy, but actually you can track stuff so much more. And when I was talking to mum and dad about this the other day, they were like, actually that is kind of brilliant. Like, it is kind of brilliant, because what that has allowed us to do over the last, as a gadget over the last 12 months, is when he's crying, we're like, why? And actually, we can then go on the app and just eliminate stuff. Okay, well, it's not food because he had that then. Maybe it's not this because he had that then. And I like that. Like, so anything gadgety
Do you
like
like
that.
if I said to you, maybe he's just crying because he's crying?
Yeah, maybe he's crying because he's crying. But
There's not always a reason.
I like a plan, right? There's always a reason
There's
for me.
not always a reason.
To
We're
me,
not
in
going
my
to
head,
agree on that.
there is a reason. And actually,
not.
I'm looking at my app thinking, okay, like maybe he's, which is crazy, I know, but like it helps with that process of elimination, even if, like, for example, when he's teething, we're like, okay, he hasn't had Ambisol for this long, you know what I mean? So actually we're like, oh, it could be that. So for us, the gadget, but actually product-wise, the Vital Baby Sterilizer, loved, absolutely
The UV
loved.
one?
Yeah, loved that. I thought it was really good. And Jem was breastfeeding, so for me, when she was expressing, it was so quick.
Yeah.
So easy, so quick, loved it.
You should have your
Absolutely
keys
loved
in that, your phone,
it.
everything.
Yeah, you can put everything in it.
Yeah.
And now he's on solids, we now put some toys in it.
Yeah.
Because we're like, actually, this is now a really good space. Everything goes in the mouth at this stage, so the toys go in it. I love it.
Yeah.
I was a big fan.
Big fan.
Big fan. But then you recommended so many products to us.
Yeah.
Because, you know, travel params and...
I know, but there are so many products that you can totally get sucked into buying that you
I'm
don't
that
need.
person.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Yeah, the baby carrier as well. Brilliant. Like, really, really brilliant. Because I could just walk around the house with Nate on me. I felt really connected to him.
I think that gives the dads the opportunity to bond.
Absolutely.
And how did you find with Jen feeding? Did you do combi feed?
So he was exclusively breastfed.
Yeah.
She started by expressing, and I'll be honest, in the middle of the night, we got to maybe week 3 and we were like, oh, I can't be bothered. Like, we can't be bothered with this. And I'd still get up in the night because I'm a light sleeper, right? So if she's awake, I'm awake. And I know some people do it in shifts and that blows my mind because I physically couldn't do that because when she's awake, I just feel, I'm just awake. So we did kind of do the express thing, warm up, blah, blah, blah. Jen in the middle of that was just taking too long. I just can't be bothered. So actually, we just did, so I ended up feeding Jen with biscuits and tea while she was feeding Nate, and that was kind of the way we worked it. That said, that makes it slightly more challenging when you do take him out on your own. So I think there's a lot of pressure on Jen because she was like, oh, I need to make it back because I need to feed him. Which again, she could express, but it's just a more complicated space to be in, isn't it really? But there are so many gadgets out there now that you can.
There are so many gadgets. What are you looking forward to most
over the
going
next
forward? Think about the next 12 months.
Yeah, I think the talking. I keep saying to Jen, oh, imagine when he can talk, when he can talk, or when he can really understand. He's just starting to understand things now, but when he can talk.
I really like it when they can talk. Yeah. Like when you can have like a little conversation with them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it just all comes together. I think
it's slightly easier when they can tell you some sort of what's wrong or something. I think that's going to be
until that they get too big and then they answer you back. But you know, like I said, you're going to got all of these different milestones to reach.
Yeah, absolutely. I think every milestone I've just decided to embrace now.
Yeah.
Like, embrace this. Like you've said to me before a million times, it's a phase. It's a phase. It's a phase. It's a phase.
My friends hate me saying
but it's true.
I'm like, it's just a phase.
And sometimes you'll say, it's a phase. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it is a phase, Tash. This is a phase.
This is not forever.
No, this is not forever. This is not forever. This is a phase. But that is such a good piece of advice because it's true.
It is true.
It's so true. And some phases last longer than others, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you have.
And there's no set time for the phase. So just because your friend down the road, their phase was shorter and yours is longer doesn't mean anything's wrong.
Yeah.
It's
because
just
the
different.
Googling is wild. Like the Googling.
Don't Google.
No, don't Google.
Don't Google.
Don't Google. Don't ChatGPT.
Don't do any of that.
But then equally, don't you find as well that even if you don't want to Google, you open your phone and it's given to you.
Yeah, right.
Like the advice is just there. It just lands.
It's noisy.
It is noisy and it lands. And I'm absolutely flabbergasted at how many people have said to me, because I'm quite real on socials, right? Like you see me up in the middle of the night with my hoodie on because the hospital have told us that the temperature needs to be 17 degrees and I'm shivering. And I'm up in the middle of the night because as a new parent, you're a little bit like, oh, like, you know, this cold and we can't make the room any different and he can't be by the radiator and all those things. And you are, there's so much overwhelm, I think, when you bring your baby home. But I'm amazed at how many people have said, thank you for being honest. Like, I really appreciate that. And I think it is. It's because social media is a noisy space to be in.
Yeah.
I don't know how you found it.
I think I sort of just took myself away from it.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. during those
There's
parts?
so many different things. I remember when Jen had just come out of hospital and she said, I just want to go to John Lewis. I just want to go to John Lewis and have a cup of coffee. That's all I want to do. I want to get out of the house, I want to go to John Lewis. And by the way, that first 2 weeks of paternity leave, I've never been in a shopping centre so much. And we live in shopping centres, right? So Jen loves shopping. But that shopping centre is brilliant because it's warm, it's an easy place to push the pram, and you've got like parent and baby parking, right? So like for me, I was like, we're there every day. People say to us, you're back at John Lewis. But we took a picture of Jen where she'd been out of hospital for, like I say, 3 or 4 days, and she was there. And there are 2 ways that we could have framed that. We could have said, out and about, and people would have thought, oh my God, like, I'm not there. But actually, the reality was, it took us 20 minutes to walk from the car. You know, Jen was still quite in pain. We sat down and we had a coffee for about 20 minutes, and then we took another 20 minutes to get back to the car, right? And I put that online because I think that is really important, that actually there are 2 ways that you could phrase that. You could say, we're out and about and we're John Lewis, we're having a great time, and other people would think, I'm not there. But actually just going and saying, please don't think that this picture is us, you know, out and about and everything's completely back to how it was and normal when she's, you know, running a marathon.
Yeah.
Actually, this is the reality. Yeah. And I think when I see other accounts like that, I think that's really refreshing.
Yeah, I think it's so important, to be honest. Like, I think it's just clears the air, really. I think it just
says
the
positive
actually,
and the negative. I just think, why not? Like, I think it's good.
I think it makes people feel like it's not just them.
And more comfortable.
Yeah.
And the amount, like I say, the amount of dads that have kind of reached out, that's what's really important to me. Because I think some dads find it really difficult to speak up.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
And I think it can be probably quite a lonely space.
I think it can be a lonely space for all parents.
Yeah.
I think it can be a lonely space for all parents because I think there's so much to, like we said before, that first year where sometimes it's really busy and really manic and you've got all the things going on, and then you find yourself with a week of like, I haven't got any plans this week, and you're kind of scrabbling around trying to find the plans, that kind of thing. I think it can be, for sure.
So one question I ask everybody on the podcast is, what is your love language?
Words of affirmation, I think.
I think so too.
I think so. Receiving words of affirmation. I think it is.
What about giving words of affirmation?
Oh, of course, yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is like, I think it's word. I'm a talker. I'm a talker, everyone. I'm a talker. Like, I get like a voice noter, words. I do love giving gifts, but words.
I love it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on the Project Babe.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And if you'd like to hit subscribe to watch the other episodes that we have coming up, we'd love to see you soon.